Cue Dave and Ryan in 3, 2, 1.
It's Dave and Ryan's movie review.
What's happening with Possum Trot has the attention of the state.
I am beautiful. I am strong.
You were a gift, and you were only ever meant to be loved.
Hey, Dave and Ryan here on location at the Provo Town Mall, I believe it's called. We went to the Cinemark up here and just saw Sound of Hope. Sound of Hope, the story of Possum Trot. This is from the same studio that brought you Sound of Freedom. And there's these movies that this Angel Studio makes, and they've got a few coming out this year. They're really one of those, I mean, I'm not saying that they're a bad film at all, but they're kind of a slap in the face kind of film to kind of wake people up. And that's what this one was, and it deals with the foster care system in really the state of Texas, but across the country there's a problem with the foster care system. Yep. The only person you may recognize is Elizabeth Mitchell. She was Carol Calvin in the Santa Claus. She was Mrs. Claus. She plays a social worker, but it starts with a pastor and his wife, and his wife's mom passes away. Yeah. And she just has a tough time going through it. So she decides that she wants to adopt these kids that need help. And so she goes through the training. And of course, he's a little lenient and a little, concerned, thinking that it may not go the way that they want it to go. But she brings 2 home. And after 2, they kind of get everybody in the town on board, really. Yeah. And they bring home another child, and her name, they bring home a boy, and it's Joshua. Yeah. But they bring home a daughter named Terry. And Terry has some issues. Very troubled. She is very troubled. And that's really, I think, where the majority of the adoption story of the part of the movie kind of clings to her.
Yeah, it jumps around a little bit from the whole church community, but the main story is the first family, I guess we can call them, because that the first lady.
Yeah, they refer to her as the first lady.
Yeah. So it's her relationship with Terry, who is a little confused, is a good word to say. She thinks she's a cat. And
it's really just a defense mechanism.
I love how the Reverend handles that right away. I'll be okay. Here's some chicken livers. Cats eat outside.
And they sleep outside, too.
That lasted probably an hour.
Yeah. But really, and that's like a defense mechanism for her. So it goes through the whole story. I don't want to really go through and tell the whole tale. But, of course, things end on a positive. And at the end, of course, you get the scroll, and it tells you that the town of Possum Trot adopted, 22 kids?
Yeah, 77.
22 families adopted 77 children. And they were the ones that nobody wanted. That was what they said going in, is we need to take care of the ones that nobody wanted. And it's a great story. And, of course, like I said, there's a scroll at the end. You can find the QR code, go on their website. And this is another one of those movies where you can pay it forward if you want to.
There's also a secret scene.
Yeah, an extra scene.
That you can only get through the QR code.
But if you go on there, you can pay it forward and actually buy tickets for somebody else to go see this movie. As far as a movie goes, this is what we talked about that. I think this is more of a movie than Sound of Freedom. Sound of Freedom was great in its own right, and it was kind of almost a PSA.
Yeah, Sound of Freedom basically grabbed you by the nose and punched you in the face.
Yes, and this one does it just very subtly. So as a movie, I'm going to give this one 3 buckets out of 5. There are things that I agree with Ryan. It was a little long. It got a little long.
It was 2 hours and 15 seconds. Or
15 minutes.
15 minutes, sorry. Honestly, I thought it was probably about a half hour too long. There was a few parts that were just a little redundant that could have been easily swept into one scene.
And it's very hard to say that about a movie that is trying to tell a serious story.
Yeah.
I guess. But
overall, I'm going to give this one 4 buckets of popcorn.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, and I thought the acting in it was really good.
The acting was really good.
The pastor is going to make you chuckle at times because that's just what he does. He is very much there for the comic relief. But yeah, all in all, it was a great film. If it comes near you. Now, this movie doesn't come out until 4th of July weekend, so look for it and go see this one, okay? Sound of Hope, the story of Possum Trot. Until then, go see a movie.